Hello, and welcome. Still got it. Anyways, today I'll be interviewing Erin A, previously or originally known as Princess Elizabeth 13. Now, Erin A is the name that she mostly prefers, and I'm going to respect her to be called as such. I also want to point out is that Erin has a lot of bad history, such as being homophobic and transphobic, also being a hypocrite. But of course, all of this happened years ago. I decided to interview her to see if she has changed at all, because when it came to her backstory, there was a lot, and I mean a lot, of bad negativity. So for that being said, I hope everyone enjoys the interview. Now, before I actually get started, please do not go and harass Erin. She has already been through enough. She is living peacefully now, without drama, without any of verbal violence. Please do not go and harass her. She has been through enough already. And also, please don't go and harass anybody who is mentioned in the video. I do not condone such actions, such as bullying and influence such a thing. So for that being said, please enjoy the interview. How are you?
To be honest, I'm doing all right. Thank you for asking. And how are you?
I'm doing excellent. I feel an extraordinary urge to do more. So, for that being said, I'm guessing you want to share your side of the story of your past, correct?
To be honest, yes,
Okay.
I am.
Please, tell me.
Well, it started when I joined DeviantArt on my 13th birthday. And people were all over me because I didn't know Greek colors were not allowed on the website. And then later on, it reached 2014, sometime in 2014, I was blacklisted from using someone's bases. For the anonymity of the base maker, I'm just going to call him Flash, as in Flash Sentry from My Little Pony. And no, I do not want anyone to go out of their way, harass, or go after Flash. And the reason I was blacklisted from the bases that Flash had was because at the time, I didn't know how LGBT plus worked, and pretty much I was a bit homophobic. Actually, scratch that. I was actually homophobic, and I was transphobic. And I didn't know what those words meant. And I was hypocritical, and people saw me as bratty and entitled, and used autism as a crutch to get away with my bad behavior. Before anyone jumps on me in the comments section, please understand that I do regret using autism as a crutch.
So what I gather here is that you got in trouble for using someone else's bases?
No.
No?
I was blacklisted from using the bases because they said I was homophobic and transphobic. Didn't use the bases.
Oh, so you got in trouble for not using the bases?
No, I got in trouble for being homophobic, and I used autism as a crutch. And I was hypocritical.
Okay. So basically you were called homophobic, and of course when people did call you homophobic and transphobic, you tried to use autism as a getaway card, correct?
Unfortunately.
Okay.
And people called me a whore and a Mary Sue and a slut, those horrible things, because I did not know who to pair my old Sonic Game character Elizabeth with at the time. And unfortunately, people called me Hitler because I was homophobic. Also compared me to this lady from Spurrow Baptist Church. They're infamous for saying God hates, slur for person.
Well, that's quite unfortunate.
Fortunately.
Well,
What I find stupid about that?
Tell me.
I live in Indiana. Sparrow Baptist Church is in Topeka, Kansas.
Mm.
You know what a part of Kansas is known as?
No, I have not.
Tornado Alley.
Oh my.
No, bad. Sorry about that. It was the grandfather clock timing.
I see. What happened in the aftermath of that when you were being called homophobic and transphobic?
Well, I tried to learn my lesson while I was learning to stop recoloring and these bases and credit them properly. Then later on, sadly, I reverted back to old behavior because people wouldn't picking on me what I did. Unfortunately, people resorted to making hate art of me. They pretty much shipped my character with Rouge or Fiona or Topaz, characters from the Sonic series, to spite me. Younger at the time, I only saw Elizabeth and Rouge as friends, and I didn't like Topaz. I sure as heck hated Fiona. Fiona is one of my trigger characters. You know how some people associate certain things as a trigger?
Yes.
In my case, it would have to be a fictional character. Not only that, I had an ex-friend backstab me and use me for attention, and her anonymity, I will have to just call her Fiona.
Okay.
Then Fiona Fox from the Sonic comics.
Right.
While I was minding my own business and doing my schoolwork online, I was doing online school in 2013, and I was pulled out of mainstream school because of bullying. And they didn't know how to handle autistic children properly. I was minding my own business and I wasn't even on DeviantArt at the time. I was doing some sort of stream, and then she claimed that I hacked into her email. In reality, I wasn't even there. An imposter tried to claim themselves to be me and hacked her, and I got blamed for it. Put it bluntly, my alibi is that I wasn't even in her stream because A, I had Fiona blocked, and I was trying to go on with my life. B, I was busy with school.
Okay. So you were being accused of a hacker over someone who thought that you were a hacker because of a live stream?
Because someone was impersonating me at stream.
Oh, so someone pretended to be like you?
Yeah.
Is there and what happened during that event?
Well, from what I know, people were spamming my page with role-related comments, beating. Some people were trying, so stupid enough to pair me with the devil himself, and I'm against it. Between you and me, my dad was a bit bigoted. Now my mother tends to be a bit more accepting, of LGBT.
I didn't quite hear what would you call your father?
A little bigoted.
Ah, okay.
No, I'm not trying to use that as an insult or anything. I'll just stop right there and try and move on.
Yes.
To this. No, everything else. Everyone made troll comments on my page that I had to block them and report their comments as spam. The egg page went up. Everything just got worse, and then on January 2015, I got my butt kicked off of DeviantArt threats.
How so?
Well, one point, mostly I was being interviewed by Ash and some of his friends. Then I had a mental breakdown and made a threat about a troll. And people thought that it was my true colors when actually I was just having a mental breakdown.
So someone invited you into an interview, and in that interview you were having a mental breakdown, but instead of that person stop the recording, he kept going and recorded the entire thing,
and I had to leave. And at one point I used to have a YouTube channel where I posted old animations on there. Miku Dance. Some idiot thought it would be a good idea to make a quote-unquote archive account and try and spoil me. And there were two people who also made mean fan art of me. One was a troll on DeviantArt who stole one of my old arts from, at one point I used to be on an art site called Weasel and got booted off of for affinity. And they called it the Idiot Princess meme.
Oh my.
The troll behind it, their anonymity's sake, unfortunately, I'm going to call them Lucifer.
Okay.
The other troll of my OC, Elizabeth, built Sonic fan character. For her anonymity's sake, I'm going to have to call her Starlight.
Okay.
And later on, when I was trying to wait and go in hiding on a website called Safari, I was found out again. Unfortunately, a couple of people I used to be friends with, Stefano and Uma, they only used me for clout. And whenever I got mad at them or upset, anything, they made fun of me. I do forgive them for what they've done to me. I'm not going to be friends with people who use me for clout.
So they only use you just to gain their self-interest.
And at one point, there was a user on YouTube who was also a troll. I tried and asked them who they were, and they kept posting screenshots of our interactions. And then at one point in December 2015, I snapped and had enough of everyone hurting me. I contemplated suicide. And all I know is that I was sent to a mental hospital for a week. And the mental hospital was just as bad, if not worse, than everyone hurt me and me to die. I mean, everyone who's pushed me and wanted me to snap, between you and me, are being psychopathic.
Okay. From what I'm hearing is that you've been picked on some of the mistakes that you have done to the point where you had a mental breakdown, and then one day you just shut down. Your brain has shut down to the point where you were sent into this deep suicidal state, to the point where they shipped you off to a mental hospital. And then this mental hospital, a hospital that is meant to help ill people, did not treat you very well, correct?
It's because they didn't know I was autistic, nor did they care, from what I know. And at one point, I used to be at this one interview and said a suicide threat, which I actually do regret. Anyway, fast forward in 2016, I was still struggling to get away from the negativity everyone has done. And I felt like I gave up on Sonic the Hedgehog almost completely, because I felt like I was driven out of the fandom after what I've done. Instead, I found myself a new series to be. It was called Gravity Falls. But unfortunately, the episode that got me into the series was the series finale. Again, part 3, Take Back the Falls. Sorry about the background noise.
It's fine.
It was the series. It fell for the main antagonist, Bill Cipher. I know, this is weird. This is just weird. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Let me tell you something about weird fictional crushes. To be honest, when I was around 4 or 5 years old, I would have been in preschool or kindergarten then. I used to have this crush on a character called Goofy. You know, the Mickey Mouse character?
Yes.
But when I reached 10 to 12 years old, I grew out of having a fictional crush on Goofy. I had some strange crush on Shadow the Hedgehog, you know, Sonic's rival, who was himself the ultimate life form. I had so many fictional crushes when I was little, and I just had to up out of it because I was scared people were going to call me a whore or a slut because I love those characters. In August 2016, for the girls on anonymity, there's this girl who made a couple of fan art for me for my character Elizabeth. She actually wanted to help me. And I was a little scared at first, but it took me a bit of time to trust her.
And what happened?
Her anonymity's sake, I'm going to call her Hikari.
Okay.
Japanese word for light. Because, to be honest, she felt like a beam of light to me. She helped me and us talk our problem out. We were able to put things aside and say we were sorry. At the time, I was on a website called Spin. It wasn't even a furry art site, like for Affinity or, you know, or Ink Bunny, which I do not have an account on. Not on Ink Bunny, and I never will be. sometime after Ash and I talked our problem out, is that didn't feel any sexual attraction towards anyone. I found out what it could mean and turned out I wasn't asexual.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to try and talk to my mom and dad about it, and accepted me as being an ace. From that point on, Phoebe and Lucky Cotty, we redesigned Elizabeth and rework her bio. Because at one point, Elizabeth's old design made her look like a female shadow, which people poked fun at me for. And I decided to back to DeviantArt, but as Dazzling Girl 16. Some odd reason I gained some friends and followers. The LGBT followers and friends I had was a non-binary, and met someone who was trans guy.
Okay.
Bisexual or two.
Well, it seems that, okay, so there's a lot to take in here. So throughout your life, you have many scenarios that involves issues that people still make fun of you of after the whole hospital thing. In those events, have you learned anything from that experience?
I believe so, yes.
What have you learned?
Do not use your disability as an excuse. Besides a permanent answer, can't undo it. Sometimes it's okay to question yourself. Well, actually, it's okay to question things sometimes. Try to figure out your sexual identity.
Well, you kind of see. I'm sorry to say this, but well, it seems that you do have like a lot of bad history, and I do see that you try to move on from those problems, even if they still chase after you. But even by that, it seems that, do you feel like you're still being chased?
Sometimes, yes. Also, way before all of this happened, I was bullied in elementary school for being autistic. Sadly, the boy who bullied me let him get away with it. They were letting him get away with murder. And I was punished for having mental breakdowns, all because bullying me. The boy who bullied me was named Lane. And the point, because I was having a really bad mental breakdown. During a meeting of some sort, one of the teachers snapped at my mom or dad, saying, "Unruly child, excuse me? It's not my fault for having mental breakdowns. Breakdowns are something I just cannot control."
Of course.
Sadly, people think that if a person has autism, that an undisciplined brat or something. Unfortunately, some people want to compare us autistics to, infamous ones like Slob, like Christian.
Well, there is a certain group that there are high-functioning autistic people, and then there's low-functioning autistic people.
And in the high-functioning spectrum, well, my brother has Asperger's syndrome.
So, like, he can't control the words that he's saying sometimes? He may say one thing, but it means to another?
I think so. I don't know.
Usually, Asperger's syndrome is usually like a symptom where a person may say something rude, but it's not their intent. It's not their intent that they say it. It just came out of their mouth.
And from what I know about me being high-functioning autistic is that I think one of the things that's different from Asperger's syndrome and high-functioning autism, even though they're both on the autism spectrum, is that high-functioning tends to have anger issues sometimes. I'm trying to get it under check. What I don't like about autism is that people want to claim that some of us are big and that we go up or take a joke thing. Actually, we are perfectly capable of that, and sometimes we just take it differently.
And of course, that's in most cases. Let me speak here for a moment. Is that in time and over time, you realize your mistakes, but then you always feel like there's someone still chasing you. Let me ask you, what do you do when things tend to go south, and you want to prevent that? What do you do to prevent anything like that?
Honestly, I tried to figure it out.
Do you usually figure it out in most cases? Or sometimes the situation of the scenario is too great for you that is beyond your understanding? It could possibly happen that way.
One of the things I don't understand is that talked about that how I redeemed myself. You need to compare me to some character liked from series I used to watch. Like example, compared me to Pacifica from Gravity Falls in a positive way because we were both able to atone for our mistakes. And so was Sunset Shimmer from My Little Pony. Unfortunately, when it comes to fictional characters, there are some people who want to assume that just because I like a character or sympathize with them, they want to think that I support or condone their actions when in reality I do not. Example, Verhal, aka Kai Chisaki from My Hero Academia. He was neglected and abused as a child. Does it give him the right to be abusive towards Yuri? No, it doesn't. I support him for that action, along with him being the leader of the Shia Hasaikai, or in English, precepts of death. Do I condone it? I do not. I don't support Yakuza either. Pretty much, Yakuza is organized crime in Japan.
And it's usually the bad aspects of one's thought that one can assume that you do condone actions of a character, but it's very clear any person with a mind that is straight that they can realize that obviously when you see like a character who is a murderer, you don't condone the actions of a murderer. Self-explanatory.
Another example, me liking Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls. I condone his actions of trying to take over the world and causing so much chaos. How people say that it's confirmed that he's a species of demon. No, I do not. And again, people are going to try and call me a hypocrite. Thing is, I have a personal little world, that alternate universe where I'm able to ship myself with Bill, yet morals. Only it's because I like a character, people want to claim I lust after them when I don't.
I see. So, and all that being said, that it's very clear that you have improved as the person who you were before. It's very clear.
I believe so.
But always believe so. Always think back to saying, am I the better person today than who I was many years ago? Just say, yes, I am.
Another character I sympathize with, Spinell from Steven Universe the movie. You know how it feels to be betrayed by our first friend. We're trying to destroy all life on Earth. Oh, I don't.
Of course. The story of that
applies to Lapis Lazuli from the same series. Don't her taking everything out on Jasper so she could save Steven. Do I condone her for trying to drown Steven and Connie? Steven only wanted to try and heal her? No, I don't.
Usually people have to be careful with watching shows that may have a great influence to other people and the viewers who are watching. Sometimes usually small minors like toddlers can mimic these things because they think it's fun.
Oh boy. And then at one point when I was little, my brother tried to mimic Power Rangers.
Oh my.
Hurt me.
You didn't hurt himself.
Just to let everyone know, no, I didn't break anything in my body. I'm alright. And no, he wasn't trying to hurt me on purpose.
I'm pretty sure it was an accident if it ever did happen.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, everything was on accident.
And to be honest, when I was a little girl, and if I didn't watch TV sometimes I'd like to watch the series that was released on videotape called Details. I know it's a bit odd.
Interesting.
Details is a computer animated Christian series intended for children, and I used to have some episodes of it on tape. Mostly it was VHS. Sometimes it was DVDs. And people are stupid enough to think that we're trying to link my homophobia to VeggieTales when no, we didn't teach about that kind of thing in VeggieTales, and I doubt that they would, because again, VeggieTales' main demographic is children.
That seems a very oddly thing to experience. And
no,
And how did you deal with that?
To be honest, I thought to myself, I think that's just wrong. Be honest, I doubt that the co-creators of VeggieTales know what homophobia is. Because, they don't talk about that kind of thing in children's programs at that time. And it would have been a bit of a mature topic to deal with.
True.
And if I remember correctly, when VeggieTales used to be on TV, VeggieTales is a TVY. Shows like Steven Universe has a TVP. I know this is a bit odd. I'm talking about singing and dancing religious cartoon vegetables, space rocks. I know this is weird. I'm not even trying to compare the two. What the heck am I even doing?
I have no idea.
In here.
I mean, we tend to watch shows that are very confusing to us. Kind of makes you want to question yourself. What possesses me to watch this?
I don't find VeggieTales confusing because it was a part of my childhood, and I feel with some of the Christian children's shows that are out there, I feel like VeggieTales was same.
Of course, you were a little confused at first, correct? You kind of wonder, like,
What? I was a bit confused because it was vegetables, sometimes fruit.
Maybe that's the confusing part. Is that they're vegetables and fruits. Makes you want to wonder.
At least it was better than watching Goosebumps.
Then I can agree.
Because I didn't like watching Goosebumps because it scared me. I was picked on for that in preschool.
I find their stories to be very stale. One would wonder, like, I'm pretty sure that the book is much more better than the show.
To be honest, I didn't bother watching the show or attempt to read the novels because, again, I felt like it would cause me nightmares. The difference between VeggieTales and Goosebumps was that I knew that Bob the Tomato and Larry the Cucumber wouldn't mean any harm, and that they know that God loves us all. That's what they say at the end of the show. God made you special and he loves you very much. Actually mean it. Well, when I used to watch that show, my favorite character was Larry. I always did silly things. Bob made sure nothing went out of control.
Well, I'm glad that you actually found a source of motivation. It's always nice to have a little bit of motivation.
Songs like help me to try and be better. You know what songs?
Well,
there's Change from Steve Universe, the movie. There's Breakaway by Kelly Clarkson from the movie The Princess Diaries 2. There's a Vocaloid song called Blink by Mothi P. The song Blink is in Japanese, and the first two songs I mentioned are English.
I see.
The one lyric that stuck out to me in Blink was, "Will I ever be forgiven of my sins?" Rhetorical question.
Well, I'm hoping that these songs motivate you to do the things that you do, and they motivate you to be the person who you are. And tell me, did it work?
Sometimes, yes. There's also the song "Mind" from the series finale episode of the same name. Change your mind.
Well, that's quite a nice story to hear. So I'm guessing that like, let me ask you this. So far, your story did not have a good beginning. It didn't have a very great middle. But tell me, what do you think of the ending?
To decide.
Do you think that you seeing better things now than what it was before? I mean, now that people, I'm guessing that people rarely pick on you nowadays because probably they just moved on.
I believe so. Sadly, whenever I have a mental breakdown and I leave server or something, people just want to talk crap about me behind my back. People want to try and use it as changed at all, when actually sometimes mistakes make us human and that no one's perfect. But unfortunately, the internet think that if you mess up, you're not saved at all or something.
Well,
You're automatically the scum and sad. Never signed up for your drama club. Just quoted a song lyric from Melanie Martinez. The song of the same name is called Drama Club. Yes, sometimes I like to listen to Melanie. Today's music is just, garbage.
Yeah, I can relate. So I'm guessing that everything is going well for you nowadays. You're doing your art. Hopefully that no one is going after you because of your past mistakes. And it's very clear that it's not very pleasant to pick on someone who has issues and conditions, especially to ones that cannot control them. So for that being said, let me ask you, do you feel happy that you made it this far?
Can't believe I've come so far.
And how does that make you feel?
Much better than I thought I'd do.
And that's wonderful. Usually the power of achievements usually builds up confidence. And what confidence do, it can open many opportunities for you.
I have a couple of quotes from fiction that I remember about achievements or something. Being a hero means fighting back even when it seems impossible. And for pines from Gravity Falls. And I really like the most. Without a plan is called a fantasy. You need a plan in order to achieve that goal. Overhaul, aka Kai Chizaki from the anime My Hero Academia.
It's quite interesting.
For the people who dull now. Who's pitiful now? Lapis Lazuli from Steven Universe.
Let's talk about this scenario about you. Is that, did you had friends to help you along the way?
I have on DeviantArt. And there's my best friend from 5th. She and I are still friends.
After all that being said, I'm guessing that, again, I'm going to say this again, I don't like repeating myself. It's just that, again, you had a rough beginning. And so far, throughout the line, is that in the road, it was a rough road. But then eventually down the line, where things started to smooth out, people stopped chasing after you. You had friends along the way to help you out. But more importantly, you improve as a person than the person who you were before.
Right.
And it's usually the improvement that what makes character. And I always say this, is that character will always be destiny. It's a pretty, it may sound like a pretty dull quote, but it has a deeper meaning than it usually is. So, after that being said, I will ask you again, how does it feel by coming this far after everything that has happened to you?
Just so happy that I was able to make it.
And that's good to hear. Now that that's being said, I have some Q&A questions for you. Would you like to answer them?
Yes.
Okay. For the first question, this is a very simple question. Do you prefer to drink water or soda?
Like soda. Sometimes, if I have to, it will have to be water. In my case, flavored water.
Alright. Second question. What was the first game you ever played?
To be honest, I think it would have to be Sonic Classic Collection for Nintendo DS.
Okay. Next question. What is the scariest movie you ever seen in your life?
To be honest, when I was a little girl, it was Goosebumps, as in the series. But I'm not sure which movies scare me. But if some movie scares me a little, I think it would have to be Left Behind. much Left Behind is about the rapture.
Ah. Okay.
It's just a little scary.
Yes.
The ending to this movie called Knowing scared me a little, but not only scared me, I cried like a baby.
Oh my.
Knowing is one with Nicolas Cage in it, and I think the tagline was, "What happens if the number runs out?"
That is a
It
scary
was a good one, but the ending's a bit of a tearjerker for me. At least I know that Caleb and Abby are safe on a new world, because I feel like the movie Knowing is a bit of an allegory for rapture and the end of times, and what happened to Caleb and Abby near the end, like it's an allegory for the world yet to come. And know what it meant for whisper people, or as I see, angels gave white rabbits to Caleb and Abby. It said that a white rabbit can not only mean purity, innocence, and that rabbits also mean it can be associated with birth.
Interesting.
So not really a scary movie, but there's a scene in this movie called Who Framed Roger Rabbit that scared me to death. It's near the end of the movie, and we finally see who Judge Doom really is. It's the tune that murdered Eddie's brother. Before I got to that part, I was thinking, I'm a brave girl. When I got to that part, I'm just like, I'm a brave enough girl for this. Sorry, I had to quote John Tron.
Okay. Okay. Let us move on. Let's see. Next question. If someone were to give you a let's just say a gift. The gift is a snow globe. But of course, the snow globe has no snow in it. So, what would you do if someone gave you a snow globe without snow?
I would just keep it.
Of course, the stylistic choice of the design of the snow globe itself is quite unique itself, even without the snow. I mean, who does not want a snow globe ball?
Couldn't imagine.
Okay.
Speaking of snow globes, it would make me feel like stirred into that snow globe long enough. One without snow, I mean. Can imagine there could be snow in it. I could just imagine a little world in there. Like Tommy Westfall did in the series finale of St. Elsewhere.
Okay.
In fact, people believe that Tommy Westfall theory is that all the shows exist in one universe, and Elsewhere was just in Tommy's head. And to even confirm that Tommy is not only a recurring character, but also has autism.
I'm glad that you found something very relatable to you. In a sense. So let me move on to the next question. Let's see. What is your favorite primary color?
To be honest, it's pink. Sorry.
Of course, there's nothing wrong with the color pink. I mean, after all, some men like pink. I mean, I have a pink shirt. Sadly, I'm not wearing it. A very comfortable shirt. And I wish I could wear it, but I can't. So, next question. And this is a very strange one. Do you prefer pizza with pineapple on it?
Nope.
No? And why
I'm
is...
sorry, I don't eat pineapple on pizza.
I'm not judging you, but I'd like to know why.
I just prefer chicken or mushrooms or both on it. I prefer chicken and mushrooms on my pizza.
Okay.
At one point when I was younger, I used to eat just cheese. I used to like sausages on pizza. You know, like sausage meat on pizza. Currently, I like chicken and mushroom on my pizza.
Good to know. Next question. Have you ever thought, like, if you were to go to a place for free, in any place, where would it be?
It would have to be either Universal Studios or Walt Disney World in Florida.
Good choice. It's always nice to visit Disney World in Florida, because that's usually where, like, the biggest one where it is, correct, if I remember.
There's also one in the state of California. I think the California location is the original one.
Oh.
There's also different locations around the world, like Paris or Tokyo.
Yeah, I think we have one here in California. Next question, and this is a very serious one. Are you ready to answer this very serious question?
Think so.
Okay. Burgers or hot dogs?
Oh my gosh. I think it would have to be both.
So you're saying you like burgers and hot dogs?
Speaking of hot dogs, I remember this from Steve's. If every pork chop were perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs.
My goodness. I remember that
Because
quote.
it's true.
That quote has been on my head. You reminded me of the torture of this quote.
I'm so sorry.
It's alright. I had to drink Sunny D now. Okay.
Anyway, let's move along to the next one.
Okay.
Just have the giggles because of that question.
Okay. Okay, moving on. If you were to describe yourself in one word, what would it be?
Potato. Literally, I'm plus size, and I think I look like a potato.
A potato.
Not really a question, but does a chair sit on an upside down human? Does a person sit on a chair? Does a chair sit on an upside down human? Got it from Electric Love Potato too.
The world we live in.
The funny game.
Okay. Moving on. This next question. If you are an artist, ever thought about doing animation? Any source of animation?
Would depend, really.
Well, I did say any source, so you get to choose of any type of animation.
It'd have to be a computer animation, though. Still practicing by using other pre-made pose data, pre-made motion data, and I hope to make my own 3D animations someday. If I had to choose another one, it would have to be anime, Japanese animation, or it could just be Flash.
Okay. Nice to hear that you have some options. Okay. This next question.
Maybe hand-drawn animation, though it would take time for me to practice on it.
It's quite the challenge if you ask me.
Yep.
Very rewarding, but very challenging.
I know it's worse than that comes to effort.
True.
Motion. Good example of stop motion would have to be Wallace and Gromit.
I think the best example for stop motion that I took an inspiration was the Fantastic Mr. Fox.
I remember seeing that movie.
It's a pretty enjoyable movie. I really do like it. Like its story concept and the way how it turned out.
And it's a lot different from original book. Mrs. Fox said, in the original story, they all die unless Mr. Fox changed. He was right.
Change is a hard thing to do.
Yes.
Just a few more questions and we'll be done.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, here's a personal question. What content creators do you enjoy watching on YouTube?
Sometimes I like to watch SMG4. I know. It's odd. Sometimes his content is so bad, it's good. It's just funny. It's just funny.
Yeah, I will admit that his way of animation is so awful, but it's good. It's so good. It's laughable, and it's like when it comes to comedy, it's like very golden. It's golden.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's move on. Here's a very interesting one, and this is a personal favorite of mine, and I yet to use this on anybody but you until now. If you would have given a drink, the drink product is Gatorade, but what if I told you that this Gatorade tastes like cucumber and lime?
Oh my goodness.
Would you be able to drink it?
I don't know. I don't think I could.
Gatorade that tastes like cucumber.
It probably tastes weird.
I mean, yeah.
I could drink it all.
Kind of questions yourself, like what the hell is like Gatorade product doing with cucumber? Then they're just like grinding these cucumbers and then making them into drinks, and they taste a little bit of lime. I mean, what's next? A shish kebab attached to another shish kebab?
Goodness.
French fries are now cooked like churros?
No. Oh my goodness.
Or here's a good one. Here's a good one. How about a hot dog on a stick?
Speaking of hot dogs, what about a bacon wrapped hot dog?
Oh my.
I'm sure that it would be good.
Okay. Okay. Moving on to the next question. In the point of your life, do you prefer dogs, cats, or any other animal that's not a dog or a cat?
Well, I do like cats and dogs. Another thing some of my friends associate with me is a cute little bunny rabbit. I mean, look at them. So soft and cuddly and fluffy.
All three in one package.
Speaking of rabbits, sometimes when I was younger, my mom and I would look out the window in the kitchen. We'd see adorable rabbits grazing in our backyard.
Must be nice.
It's a pretty sight to see.
My goodness. They fight to the death.
Oh.
I will literally pay $5 to see two rabbits fight to the death.
No, it's a lot worse than rabbits fighting to the death.
What?
Killer Rabbit of Care, Bannock.
Oh my. That sounds horrifying.
No, it's from Monty Python, and I used to watch a movie called Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Like that one guy said, that rabbit's got a vicious streak a mile wide. The only way to kill that thing was using a holy hand grenade. Oh my goodness.
Okay. Okay. Let's move on. Okay. Yeah. Here's a personal question. What do you think of my OC?
It's really powerful.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Say something. He looks like he could be a lot more powerful than Bill Cipher.
Well, congratulations. You figured it out.
I mean, if you're not careful, could seem like the guy who would go from Almond Average to have become Death, the Destroyer of Worlds.
Okay. Next question.
Compared to you, I'm small.
True. I am quite large.
I'm small. I'm powerless.
It's fine. Okay. Next question. Do you prefer Coke or Pepsi?
Coca-Cola, obviously.
Okay, good. If you're gonna say Pepsi, I was gonna judge you.
I don't like Pepsi, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Originally, I was going to say Dr. Pepper to troll you, but I couldn't.
Well, good to know. Here's a good question. If you wanted to eat Chinese food, but you could only pick out seafood from it, what would you pick?
I don't know if it counts, but I'd pick sushi.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it does count. Because sushi's from a fish.
Sometimes I like to eat sushi with eel sauce. No, it's not made of actual eels. Well, I know.
I don't know what it's made of, don't ask me. I don't know what they do there. Okay. One last question, and then we'll wrap this up. Let's see. If you had one wish, what would it be?
That would literally be a bit difficult.
Okay, then let me...
An example.
Let me make it very simple. This one wish will usually grant you any wish, and it will also have common sense. Which means is that, like, let's just say if you would have wished for a burrito, obviously it's going to spawn on the floor without a plate. So with common sense, it will, if you wish for a burrito, it will appear in a table, like, with a plate, you know, clean, fresh for you.
What if I wished for my favorite fictional characters to come to life? What would it do?
Well, they'll be in your command.
Holy moly.
They will literally be in your command. Kind of gives you like a very evil idea of what you can do. But that depends.
Ace Overhaul would make a good bodyguard for me.
That depends on like what you do to those fictional characters. That's all up to you.
Well, let's see.
as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
Well, that's all the questions that I have.
Okay.
So, tell me, how do you feel now?
Just I feel a little happy.
A little happy that you're filled with dank memes and fantasies?
Yes. Yes.
And I'm glad to enlighten the mood. After all that we spoke about, your past, present, but now, let me ask you, what do you see yourself in the future?
To be honest, I do not know what the goal.
You don't know what lies in the future. Okay.
Yeah, I do plan on trying to find a job at a pet store and probably earn enough money to try and move into a nice little apartment.
Well, I hope that goes very well. And the best of your luck. So, for that being said, I'm guessing that now that we cleared up everything, do you have any final words and give advice to anybody who may have a similar story to you?
I would like to tell them that hopefully everything will turn out fine in the end like it did for me. Just for them to please stay safe and have a blessed day.
I'm glad to hear that.
Hey, this shit way too crazy. Hey, you do not amaze me. Hey, I blew cool from ACA.
I hope everyone has enjoyed the video. I would like to thank Erin A for allowing me to speak to her and having this interview with her. I will say I did enjoy having our conversation and also editing out this video. And I hope that my video enlightens your future. So, for that being said, I wish you luck, Erin A. So what are my plans in the future? Well, I guess that I can say that I still have 3 interviews to go, and this is just the beginning for me. So, for that being said, I hope everyone has a fantastic day. So please, keep on shining.